This video is about how to create backups in Studio Suite 12. Now, of course, what that really means is that we're making backups in FileMaker Server because FileMaker Server is what's hosting Studio Suite 12. So let's jump right into it. Here I am in my browser. On the server machine, you can go localhost :16001. And this will bring up the FileMaker Server admin console, which we can start. And then you'll go ahead and put in your credentials. And here we are at the home screen of FileMaker Server. A quick note to definitely write down or memorize the credentials to FileMaker Server. We have a lot of people call up and they can't remember how to get into their FileMaker Server, so we're kind of stuck on that. One piece of advice is make them the same as the operating system username and password. Makes it a little harder to forget that way. Now, this is not a full tour of FileMaker Server. We're going to be just looking at schedules, which is where we manage the backups. Now, when FileMaker Server is installed, by default, it contains these three schedules: daily, hourly, and weekly, with the daily one enabled, the other two not enabled. And by the way, this video was inspired by one of our customers that called up one day and said, hey, we deleted a project by accident. Can we restore it from a backup? So we said, sure. We looked on their drive and they had no backups. Then we logged into their FileMaker Server, and somebody with what they probably thought was good intentions deleted all these schedules and they had no backups. And by the way you can do that is to just come down here and delete a schedule. Don't do that. Now, you can turn these schedules on and off, enable them out of the box, or you can edit any one of the existing ones. So to do that, you come over here and select Edit a Schedule. Now, by default, all databases is selected, which you'll probably use. You could also filter those if you have a lot of databases, but for now, let's just hit Next. We'll see that it has entered the default location for the backups. You can change this location. It has to be an existing folder. You can't type a new folder and have it created here. And if you do type a new location, make sure to hit the validate, and that's going to show you that that's a valid path. I will mention all the backups by default store to your internal hard drive. So ideally, you will want to back up these backups onto any external hard drive, or you can create another backup schedule and back up directly to, instead of your internal drive, to an external drive. You can choose here the maximum number of backups to keep. I would suggest verify backup integrity. We'll hit Next. Here is the frequency, daily. For the start date, it'll enter the date that you've created the schedule. You can tell I did that one a while ago. And here is the time that it will occur. So we'll hit Next. Give it a name. You can optionally send an email every time a backup is made, but that can get busy. Also, if I do this, notice you'll have to set up your SMTP to be able to do that. So I'm going to disable that for now. And the schedule is enabled. So we'll go to Next. And here is a review of where that is, and I'll hit Finish. And so now that's done. Just real quick again, we'll create a new schedule. So this time I'm going to do backup databases. Notice we can do some other things. All databases, default location, how many to keep, let's say 3 in this case, and I do want to verify that, the backup. Daily, I'm going to start it today, and then a time, usually you want to make it some kind of standard time. Maybe let's make this one be 11:30. I'll call this 11:30 p.m. Note you cannot have a colon in there because basically it's going to create a folder with this name on it. And here's a review. So we'll hit Done. And so now we've got a schedule called 11:30 p.m. So now if I want to access the files, you go into your Finder, go to your Macintosh hard drive in this case. I'll show you the Windows path in just a minute. We're going to go into Library, FileMaker Server, Data, Backups. And here are all the backups that have been made. And if you want to go into a particular folder for today, here is the path down to all of the backups that have been made. So there's your Studio Suite 12 backup. So now let me go into Windows just to show you that. It's roughly the same. So the interface, you'll notice, looks exactly the same for the schedules. Here is a PC. Let me go back over to my desktop folder. So let's go to Windows C drive. From here, we'll go into Program Files, and then from there into FileMaker, FileMaker Server, Data, Backups. And here's all the backups that have been made. I want to head back to the Mac side for a minute. So now we're back on the Mac, and I want to mention something about Time Machine. If you are using Time Machine to back up your backups, or even if you're not, there's something important you need to do, which is to omit or exclude from the Time Machine backups the live hosted FileMaker databases. So let me just delete this to show you how to do that. So you hit plus, and then you're going to navigate to where that folder is. I've got a shortcut to where the FileMaker server is. I'm going to go to Data, and then Databases. We just want to omit those. I have heard that if you make a copy of a file while it's open, in this case in FileMaker Server, not only could that copy be an incomplete file, but can also potentially damage the original file itself. So only ever back up the backups that FileMaker Server has created, and of course, at bare minimum, make sure you have some kind of backup. Well, that's about it for backups. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.